Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.
Different type of show for you. We actually have a discussion. We're having a panel discussion, and we're hoping that this fire and energy that my panelists are bringing to the table will leave you inspired, educated, and on fire to go vote if you live in America. So enjoy my guests today as they share their very positive opinions with us. Welcome, Adeeb. Welcome, Sacha.
It to be a new, fresh mix of good people, like good people that are in there for the right reasons.
We did. Look at. Did you see how many people ran on the Democratic ticket?
No, I don't know all the details of that.
Adeeb,
Really?
But then why didn't they pick them?
Adeeb, if you could have picked the candidate of the many candidates that the Democrats had in the running, who would you have picked and why?
I'm trying to remember who I would have picked. I mean, certainly Warner was genuine, right? She's very smart. She comes.
I mean, Warren.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warner.
Yeah.
I thought she was a solid candidate. She got hurt by pretending that somehow she was American Indian or lived in any kind of life like an Indian.
I don't think she was pretending. I think she really believed because of some ancient connection she was. And the president continues to call her Pocahontas.
Right. But whether she did,
childish.
But whether she did or not.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe that you can even think that that's allowed. That's completely racist.
What's that?
Yes.
Calling her that.
Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is the kind of person that's running our country. It makes
that's awful. I don't know about that, but that's now that you've said it, I have actually heard that term. That's awful.
He just referred to her as Pocahontas just the other day in something he said.
I thought she was solid. I thought she was very. I don't agree with her politics. I mean, a lot of the things she says, I'm like, that's just crazy. But at least she was a solid person that believed in what she, you don't have to agree with, honestly, like a lot of times, if you think of a way to make this country better, I might not agree with your way, but at least I know your deep intentions are to make this country better, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we can.
I think that's the key there. Your
Right.
deep intentions are to make it better. I think that the intentions aren't right with either of them.
Yeah.
Too many egos at play. Even now, I think all the candidates, including their running mates, I feel egos here. It's all about, I got to be the president. I'm the one who and I feel that very strongly. And so it's going to be interesting.
Sorry, just to follow up on your question, the person I really liked, she never really made any movement as far as getting up in the top tier, but the senator from Hawaii, I thought was tremendous. Like the way she answered the questions, I'm like, yes, that's exactly right. That's the old Democratic Party. That's the party that I used to identify with. That made sense to me. A lot of them, again, those were the two that stood out for me. Those were.
But why do you think she fell off the scene? Why do you think that these people? Because I followed the debates, and you may not agree with me, but I loved Vetkovich.
Oh,
how do you say his name? He had a husband, and I think because he has a husband, that worked against him. I don't think our country is ready for a president and a first husband, but I really identified with a lot of his politics and really liked him. He served in the military. He was on the ball, and I thought he would have been a good candidate.
I remember him. Yeah, I don't know if I agree or disagree with you if we're ready for a gay president. I don't think people care.
You and I don't care, but there are a lot of people that do care.
You think still?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
I don't
will
see it
you
as much.
vote? Will you actually vote?
Will I vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's other important issues on the ballot that like local issues that I will definitely vote. But I know that my vote won't count towards president. Doesn't just
So
won't.
why do you think that you don't have it's not compulsory to vote. So in Australia, it's compulsory to vote. Like you actually get a fine if you don't vote. Why do you think that hasn't happened in the US?
I think because we're a democratic country.
Yeah, I mean, you guys like to pretend you're free in Australia. We're actually free in the United States.
Oh God. No,
Not
I
going
think
there.
that we need to, because you're going too far, Adeeb. You're going too far.
He's pushing you in the hot seat.
No, it's not at all.
Trying to
No,
get
I think it's really important, and I guess that come voting day, some days that you can have other things happen, or you don't like the particular candidates or whatever it is. But one of the main reasons that I vote, and I would vote all the time, is because I know that there has been millions of women before me that have worked really hard for me to be able to give that choice. And so in one sense, I would not vote because I would feel like I was disrespecting those women that had worked really hard for me to be able to do that. So that's why I think that my opinion is really valid all the time, because I'm really respecting my history.
I would agree. I would agree with what you said, and I also would even go a step further. I would say that if you don't, and a lot of people will disagree with this, but if you don't exercise your right, sooner or later that right will be taken away from you.
Not that their age should matter, but you want them to be able to serve out their term, whomever is elected, in the best of health.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that if President Trump were to be reelected, he won't be the same after the coronavirus if he really does have it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we know ourselves that when you get the flu, it knocks you out for at least a month. Like, firstly, it knocks you out from where you are, and then it takes another 2 or 3 weeks. My kids last year both had type A flu, and they're very well healthy kids, and it literally took 6 weeks out of them, like two weeks at least of them being at home with a temperature and sick and all of that stuff, and then that taking of your body to rebuild yourself. So 100%. So hang on, Adeeb, do you think that they're both too old?
I think they are old. It's like, you take a look at the way Trump has been acting the last 4 years. He's been acting like a 70-year-old man. I mean, when you get to that age, you think you know everything. You think you're smarter than a lot of people, and that's a dangerous thing. Mm-hmm. And Joe Biden isn't any different. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like we're going with a younger person there. We're going with the same. They both have similar problems. They're both. I don't understand. I mean, the Democratic Party had so many good candidates. I mean, they had 20 at one point, right? Or something ridiculous like that. I mean, it was double digits. To pick Joe Biden absolutely floors me. I mean,
I think it has to do with the fact that people probably, and this is my opinion. My opinion is the voters feel a little safer having him as the candidate because he's already served in the White House. And they probably believe, because he's already been in the White House working alongside Obama, that he knows the drill. And I think there's an element of that had to do with having him be the candidate. That's just my feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake that's going to come back and bite the Democratic Party, even if he gets elected, which I don't think he's going to get elected, honestly. I think Trump's going to win. But, even if he gets elected, I think that the country's in trouble no matter which way you go. But
absolutely,
Sacha, what do you
think? The country. Firstly, I completely agree. The country's in trouble whichever way. I definitely think they're both too old. I think about the level of energy that it takes to do that particular job, and the work hours, and the fact that you need to be switched on, the decisions that you need to make, the rest that you need to have. There's just no and the amount of pressure that you're going to be put under. to make it. And who knows what's going to happen? I mean, like that's the glorious part of time, and not having to have any idea. I mean, this is not just a walk in the park. This is like talking about running the free world, right? So it requires a whole lot of energy, and you don't just take days off. It requires a whole lot of stuff. I personally think that age group, it's too old. It's just too old to be able to put the level of energy that the country deserves for anybody. It's unfair to be able to expect somebody to be able to work that hard and to be able to make those quick, sharp decisions. I mean, you're actually talking about, your brain doesn't work at that same peak efficiency at that age. Who knows what's going to happen? There's a terrorist attack. There's things that are going to happen, and all of these. I'm not saying that you can't have advisors that are that age group that it can't actually be on your board, but the actual leader, no way. They actually say when you're driving, you can't make the same reflexes. You can't actually make the same quick decisions. You're talking about somebody's in a powerful job, and you're in an age group. I just think that it's too old. That's my personal opinion. You need to bring somebody in that's at the peak of their energy. These people are not at the peak of their energy. They're at the end of their energy. To be given a job like that at the end of your energy, you're going to fail, and you're going to make mistakes, and this is not a job that you start off behind the 8 ball with the ability to make mistakes. Absolutely. Every president will make mistakes. Every leader will make mistakes. They are human beings, but their energy level has to be up at in the right space. I also think that your intention needs to be right. I don't think either of them have the right intention. I think it's about ego. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Have we ever in the history of the United States had a vice president become a good president?
I couldn't answer that. I'd probably say no. No, not really. No.
I was raised in the U.S., and as far back as I've gone, it's only been 30 years, so I don't know.
No, you look back at our great presidents, they've never been vice presidents. And a lot of people, when it's a kind of a my turn kind of candidacy, like Bob Dole was it's my turn, Hillary Clinton, it's my turn. My turn candidates just at the end of the day don't do well. Although, with Joe Biden, he's got a lot of things working for him with the economy, and the world and everything just going wrong. A lot of people just will think that they're going to get a change with him, and he might get in. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens.
Just that term, Adeeb, just that term. It's my turn.
My turn.
Just that term, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Is egotistical, in my opinion.
I think so too. I agree. I don't think Bob Dole should have been the nominee of the Republican Party. I certainly don't think Hillary Clinton should have been the nominee. It's like, I've done all of this. I'm the most come on. You weren't the most qualified. You were the most hated woman in the United States. Why would you pick the most hated woman in the United States to run for president for your party? It made no sense. It just made no sense. I know, listen, I'm not saying whether you like her or whether you don't like her. The fact is, she was very hated and she was very divisive in the United States. Same with Trump, you might say. But Trump has the presidency now, so he has a little bit of an edge. But I don't even know if that's going to help him.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will actually be really interested to see the next debate, like what the next one with the vice presidents, with the vice presidents. I'll be interested to see that. And hopefully they do actually come and follow the rules, and that to me is really important. I just think I think that respect is really important. I think that the basic elements of what went on with that debate was that there was no respect on both parties. Like, I don't think that one was more than the other. The fact that people were mentioning each other's children, the fact that when they were asking each other questions, and they weren't answering it. They weren't answering the questions. Like, when somebody says to you, you've got 2 minutes to tell me what you're going to do for your country, I want to know in 2 minutes. I actually thought that what their answers were, they weren't valid. Like, one was talking about how good of a dad they are and what difference is what they're doing as a parent. The other one was, talking about, I actually walked away and went, I have no idea what you're going to do. I mean, you've got 2 minutes. I think that if you're going to do this job, you make sure that you structure that 2 minutes. If I was going to do that, if you said to me, Sacha, I want you to prepare 2 minutes of why I think that gun control is really important. I would work really hard on making sure that I had stats, statistics, I had figures, I had backup. I knew exactly, I could give you point by point by point of exactly what I would do, because that job is important to me to be able to give you that information. I feel like they went in there and no one had any idea what they were talking about. What's your policy? What's this? What's that? I don't know. What's going to happen with this? I mean, when you're talking about medical care and all of this, I kind of walked away going, I don't know any more about medical care than I did before 5 minutes before. And we're talking about really serious topics.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I think that you should be really prepared. And I think that they're way too old. You can see that they just don't have that energy. In your age group, you just don't have that same energy. And it's not being against it. I just think, you know, I look back at, you know, I ran events for 9 years. And when I worked on those events for 9 years, and I worked literally almost 20 hours a day for 9 years. And there's absolutely no way I have the energy to do that right now. No way. Like the stress and the toll that actually takes on you. And I'm 45 years old, you know, and making those big events and that's what I was looking. And I looked at them and thought, there's no way I'd be able to do it at 70, let alone 74. And I look at my parents at their age groups and went, you know, and I had energetic parents, you know what I mean? Like those kind of things. Those are things that are really important. But you know what? You've got the better of two evils, realistically, to pick from.
Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. I think the lack of respect went beyond the lack of respect for each other. I think they had a lack of respect for the American people, really.
Absolutely.
The way they acted towards each other and to the commentator. And the commentator really didn't do much better. I'm really disappointed.
I completely agree with you. I didn't think that the commentator was respectful either. There were times where I thought, hang on a second, I think you're almost taking a side here.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And I actually thought that's not the job of that. It's, you know, like how often in sporting events when you feel like that the umpire is actually taking a side.
Whose side did you think he was taking?
I thought that he was taking. I thought that he was taking Biden's side at some point. Like I did think.
And imagine that.
And I thought that was wrong, because I think that both of them should equally have a person that the job of the chair is to actually chair that. And the point is, you need to be able to keep your political opinion gone. When Trump actually said, "I feel like I'm debating you as well as him," you know. But then again. I didn't think anyone was being respectful to him either.
Right.
So it was literally three people that were out to just have a battle. There was no purpose. And there were three people that were, and the thing that I didn't see there, I didn't see that anybody cared about the American people. I thought that it was about three people that cared about themselves. And you're in a role, three people there, including that moderator, is to make sure that you get the best out of them to be able to showcase who they are. This guy was there to show himself off as a moderator, not to show off. And I don't think that he's a very good moderator.
Yeah, I thought he was terrible.
He got involved in his emotions in that sense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It pissed me off, and I can see why he got his emotions involved. But and the fact that you now need to bring in more rules, it's like almost bringing in kindergarten stuff. You can't talk on top of me, blah, blah. These are basic things that we learn at the start of school that your teachers are all saying. One person speaks at a time. This needs to do. You get 2 minutes. Now we need to come up with rules. This is going back down to primary school. We're going back down to basic stuff. So in other words, I strongly believe that if you take over my time, if I've got 2 minutes and every time you interrupt me, I get an extra 10 seconds.
I say you get another 2 minutes. Your time starts.
Time starts again, you know.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I don't think either of them have had the intelligence to come up with another 2 minutes of more bullshit to say. That's my opinion, because they weren't even utilize. If I've got 2 minutes, utilize that 2 minutes. Say some amazing stuff in that 2 minutes. If you gave them another 2 minutes, they'd be like, I almost need you to interrupt me because I can't have any idea what I'm going to even say. That's what I felt about both of them. And I don't think
Sacha, I love your energy, man. I love your energy.
American people. That's what I thought. And I think that when you're in that job, the number one thing that you think about is the American people that you're serving.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
You are there as a vessel purely to serve those people.
Okay, my lovely friends, I would love to do this all night because you have such great, I share your passion, Sacha and Adeeb, and I think that we all went into this debate expecting more. And I know for me, I got a lot less than I was expecting, although not surprised completely. So
Yeah.
I think this was a great discussion.
You know what I'd love to tell? I'd love to tell you. Just to tell you. No, I know you've got to go. But the stuff that's actually happening in Australia is, I would have said, as many years, I would have just said, we have a great political system. I'm not saying it's perfect, but we have a great political system, and that I trust the people that are looking after us, and they're always out for the right decisions. They will make mistakes. There will be things and all of that sort of stuff. We have very little corruption. But I'm not saying that it's 100% clean, but we have a lower rate of corruption. At the moment, what's going on in Australia, specifically my state, is out of control. Like it's next level corruption, lies, passing the buck, nobody taking responsibility, and the effect that it's having directly on our people has never been seen before in history. So I guess that's making me a little bit more angry because it's directly affecting my daily life.
Sacha, I'll leave you this one thought. Back when you had guns to defend yourself, that never happened with the government. But now that they've taken your guns away from you, they're doing whatever they want.
I have to go.
Start calling you Mr. Gunner, not Adeeb.
Mr. Gunner, yeah. I'm scared. Can I just say that if I ever go out for coffee with you, I'll be checking out. You'll be going, what is she doing? Why is she looking at my waist so much? I'd be like going, what's he got? You know what I mean?
All right. Listen, have a great day. Great talking to you.
I think this was a great discussion. And Sacha, I love your energy. I could see you and I doing lots of shows. Because what I love is that you're not inhibited and you're sharing your views, which you're entitled to. Same for you, Adeeb. I love the passion. I think this is going to be an amazing show. And I hope that people watching it can hear both sides when we've disagreed. But at the end of the day, I think everybody wants the same thing, which are two leaders or a leader that will really represent the people and the best interest of the country. And I did not.
You had it right the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
I did not hear that. I still don't know what they're going to do. So hopefully the next debate will be less attacks and more plans for the country that we can hear. So we can decide who we think will be the best person to execute and do what is best for all of us. So thank you so much, my participants, my very live wired, full of energy and great opinions panel. And I hope that you guys will enjoy them as much as I have. And we will see you next time with the next segment. Stay tuned.
Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.